If you have yet to be sentenced, I have an assignment for you. I want you to stop telling everyone the obvious, such as, I didn't have bad intent. Of course you didn't have bad intent. I didn't have bad intent when I broke the law. Few people wake up and say, today is the day I'm going to break the law, ruin my reputation, create victims, and lose my freedom. It doesn't work that way, and I understand that. It doesn't help you if you continue to say, I didn't have bad intent, or I didn't mean to do it, or I was swept into this. I felt a great deal of pressure. All of those things may be true, but it won't help you at sentencing. It won't help you obtain the shortest sentence in the most favorable place, preferably your home instead of a federal prison. So what should you try instead? Well, rather than trying to tell people you didn't have bad intent or stating the obvious, I want you to try this. I want you to think about the perspective of the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders before you get sentenced? Well, there's a number of them, from your defense attorney to a potential consultant, to the prosecutor, probation officer, and of course, the judge. Primarily for sentencing in this video, I want to focus on the stakeholders of the probation officer, prosecutor, and judge. How do they view you? What is their perception of you? Because I know many of you watching this feel as if your plea agreement was kind of made up. And some of you may have been told that if you fought or argued too much, the government would state that you're not fully accepting responsibility. So you accepted some terms that you don't necessarily agree with. Same thing in the probation report. Frequently, I will receive calls, our team will receive calls from defendants who don't believe that their probation report is accurate, and they were told from their lawyer not to fight or argue or create objections or clarifications in the probation report because it could be off-putting to the government. And you've gotten a great plea agreement and a great offer, and you don't want to do anything to upset them, while not fully considering the probation report has to be accurate. It has to reflect the truth, or as close as you can get it to the truth, because I know so many of these indictments and plea agreements, it's just made up. The government's reconstructing events. Now back to what you need to try. Put yourself in the position of all of the stakeholders. They view you cynically. They view you as a criminal. They view you as someone who creates victims. The probation officer, for example, before or after a probation interview will reach out to the prosecutor. And what are the types of questions the probation officer will ask? Not really favorable questions like, tell me, does this guy coach a Little League? Is it true he didn't have bad intent? No, they're going to say, who are the victims? Who did he hurt? What's his criminal history? What's his post-defense conduct like? Is he telling the truth? Is he cooperating only because he doesn't want to go to prison? Is he paying back money? I see a lot of net worth here. Is he paying back money? Are we going to require it? Is he making a token payment only because he doesn't want to go to jail? The questions are going to be from the perspective of a government bureaucrat who views you cynically as someone who breaks the law. So for you to succeed at sentencing, I think you need to put yourself in the shoes of the stakeholder, a probation officer who is most likely or wants to write a report that is somewhat negative because it's going to parrot the government's version of events. Take that into your calculus when you sit for the probation interview. Try to put yourself in their shoes and understand their job is to focus on the victims, the people that you may have hurt. If you can embrace it from that perspective, you're going to respond differently and not say things like, I didn't have bad intent, but rather, at the time I didn't fully consider how my actions would influence and hurt people. Yet time and memorials helped me understand how I broke the law. There is nothing to say or no pressure that I could feel that justifies what I did. People that were hurt deserve justice, and there should be consequences for my conduct. And while it's easy to think about how my own life is imploding professionally, reputationally, my freedom, I know in order to overcome and make amends for my conduct, I need to focus on the people that I've hurt. So I can understand that you're cynical, and maybe I'm saying I'm sorry because I got caught. But I am ashamed, and I did know better. And no pressure justifies what I did because millions of people face pressures every single day, yet they don't break the law as I did. And words aren't going to get me there. It's got to be actions for the rest of my life. I don't think that's manipulative. I think it's honest. You need to do the same thing with the sentencing judge. What some defendants sometimes do is outsource all of the work to their lawyer. And that's sometimes the lawyers that it's $500,000, $1 million, the former AUSAs who have these big impressive resumes and they used to run the fraud division. I want to be very careful when I talk about talk about lawyers, because we work with a lot of great lawyers, including those who are former U.S. attorneys. For example, David Willingham, the U.S. attorney that indicted me, who is now a defense attorney, I've referred him a number of clients over the years Because he's a great lawyer. So a lot of former U.S. attorneys are fantastic. It doesn't change, do they embrace mitigation like David does? Does your lawyer embrace the opinion of others? Does your lawyer believe collaboration, even some dissension, is a good thing, or is it just God complex type lawyer from start to finish? Because I believe if you're going to try to put yourself in the position of the stakeholders, that includes speaking openly and honestly to a judge, and that cannot be outsourced. It can't be outsourced. Too often our team gets calls from defendants immediately after they've left the courtroom. Like the first thing they do is Google life in prison or how to get a shorter federal prison sentence. And in part, I think, because we have 1,500 videos and more than 1 million words up online, that I just came across a competitor who's stealing our work and putting it up on his website. It's hilarious. I'm actually filming a case study about it. The competitor took it, put it on his site, didn't even have take the time to read it and edit out words like prison professor and white collar advice. It's hilarious. But we have, here comes the gardening next door. I got to wrap this up. I'm filming today from my business partner, Michael Santos' house. I got to wrap this up. For all of you that think I ramble, this is a good thing. I'm going to have to pause it and maybe edit this. This is terrible. I'm in a good flow here. Please, I'm begging you to stop the mowing for just 15 seconds. For just 15 seconds. I'm almost done here, I promise. Thank you. I lost my train of thought. Forgive me, I'm coming back. Coming back to, we have so much content out there that people, they'll get sentenced, they'll call us and say, oh my God, I just got sentenced. My lord said I was going to get 2 years, I got 5. And we'll look at what they did to prepare for sentencing, and the answer was very little. They didn't try to put themselves in the position of the stakeholder by conveying to them the right messaging at the right time. So that's how I'm going to close this video. Forgive the disruption from the gardener. My business partner, Michael Santos, is inside interviewing a client for a very big project we're working on. And I want to come out and knock out this video. Think about the stakeholders, their perception of you. Bring it into your calculus and create content at the right time that's designed to influence them. And stop talking about the obvious. I didn't have bad intent. We know all of that. The government knows all of that. Don't say it. They know it. Thank you very much for watching and for subscribing. And look forward to coming back soon with more video. Try this at sentencing. It's going to help you get a better outcome. Also help you in prison too and on probation. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.